Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Ace Attorney, Trials and Tribulations. I'm your host, Kaylee Iwatari, and today we are going to continue trial and meet Miss Dahlia Hawthorne. Let's get going. April 11th, 12:13 p.m., District Court, Courtroom number 2. Court will now reconvene. Miss Payne, please call your witness. This next person is someone who witnessed the crime as it happened. The prosecution calls Miss Dahlia Hawthorne to the stand. That smile. What's with this stiff silence all of a sudden? My long career as a judge, I have been deceived by many witnesses. It's my job to doubt, to take no one at their word. But in your case, I must admit that you radiate a glow of complete sincerity. I can't believe he actually said that. Now then, witness, could you please state your full name? Don't worry, sweetie, there's no need to be nervous. If anyone says anything rude, you can be sure I'll cut them right down to size. And I will bash them with my gavel. I love how they look straight at me when they say that. Thank you for calming my nerves. You were all so nice. I almost feel right at home. Not at all. It was nothing. If we may move on now, what is your full name and occupation? My name is Dahlia Hawthorne. I'm a junior in literature at Ivy University. I just want to say, it's an honor for me to be here in your noble presence. The honor is all mine! No, the honor is all mine. Well, we know whose milkshake brings all the boys to the yard. Sir? Is there something I can help you with? You just go on and say whatever is on your mind. I'm sure that there must be some kind of mistake. Feeney wouldn't kill anyone, I just know it. Yes, no, he wouldn't. She's going to be a tough witness, all right. If it only took her 12 seconds to wrap them all around her little finger. Now then, please proceed with your testimony. Let's hear about what you witnessed on the day of the incident, if you please. What I witnessed. I had been planning to go back to Feeney's place after class was over. Feeney and Dougie, they were talking behind the building. Then suddenly, Dougie got all wobbly and just collapsed. That's when Feeney noticed that I was there. I went to go and find some other students, and they called the authorities. I don't know what to say. According to you, Miss Hawthorne, the defendant didn't do anything wrong. Young lady, as old as I am, even I recall how the flames of young passion can burn. Nevertheless, it is my job to discover the truth. Please tell us the truth. But I would never. That's more than enough, witness. I won't allow this to continue. What do you mean by that? Please just let me proceed with my cross-examination, Your Honor. I, for one, don't plan to win my case on a bunch of paper-thin lies. You haven't changed a bit, Miss Fey. What's this? You two are acquainted? Yes, we've met before, once. In any case, Miss Fey, the floor is all yours. It's good to see you again, Madam Fey. Madam, I'm no one's grandma yet, girlie. I witnessed. Oh, press all over the place. Now, unless I'm mistaken, Mr. Wright is in the art department. If that's the case, then what were you doing by the pharmacology building? Well, I'm in the literature department. I'm studying Japanese Sanria poetry. Oh, wonderful. It's that humorous yet satirical style of haiku, yes? Nothing left to do. When a man reaches this age, sleep is his best friend. That's supposed to be poetry? Sounds more like a midlife crisis. For me to get to the art department, I have to walk through that back area. Oh yes, I see. That makes sense. When I didn't want to enter the courthouse, I always walk through the front doors. How else would you enter teleportation? So who is this Dougie person? Oh, I'm sorry, Doug Swallow. We were dating until about 8 months ago. So what were Dougie, Mr. Swallow and Mr. Wright talking about anyway? How can you be so mean? I would never eavesdrop. I wasn't raised to be so rude and unrefined. That's right, Miss Fey. Don't drag the witness down to your level. Why am I being demonized here? Please go on. What did you see next? Are you saying that the victim just collapsed on his own? Yes. In other words, the defendant never touched the victim, is that right? I was watching the whole time. Feeny never did a thing to Dougie. If I press her for no good reason, I just know the judge will get angry with me. So what should I do about her testimony just now? Show contradiction. Feeble lies are not very becoming, Miss Hawthorne, so let's drop them, shall we? What? I would never. Miss Fey, I will not allow you to batter this witness. I believe the defense is engaged in a fishing expedition. That is, she has no supporting. But please don't glare at me like that. I am just doing my job. Now then, Miss Hawthorne. The defendant's palm print was found on Mr. Swallow's leather jacket. It has already been shown that Mr. Wright did in fact push the victim. What? There's no need to try to cover for the defendant. It would be much better if you came out and told us the whole truth. There's nothing to worry about, young lady. Just tell us everything that you saw. Yes, Your Honor, I will. If you don't mind, I'd like to revise my testimony. Looks like we're finally getting somewhere. Actually, I didn't see the moment he pushed Dougie. You didn't see it? Well, I saw the moment when Dougie fell to the ground. And at that time, there was only the two of them at the scene. The defendant, Phoenix Wright, and the victim, Doug Swallow. Yes, that's right. look like they were fighting, and I didn't hear any noise either. Well, that's just bollocks. Because we have here what your boyfriend said. The victim fell on top of his umbrella. There was a loud sound when this happened. You say you didn't hear any noise? Is that correct? Yes, that's why I was very relaxed, looking at the scenery around me. No, that's nice and all, but I find that just a little odd. I have here the testimony of your boyfriend, Mr. Phoenix Wright. And he clearly testified to the effect that when he pushed the victim, he heard a sharp, loud noise. He said that? If you were really that close to the two of them, why didn't you hear the noise also? Well, maybe the noise just wasn't all that memorable. But according to Mr. Wright's testimony, it was a sharp noise like a snap. There's no way a noise like that could fail to make an impression. May I have a moment to answer? But by all means. I know the reason why I didn't hear the noise. You see, the truth is, I had my headphones on and I was listening to music at the time. Headphones? You mean that both of your ears were covered? The rain was just beginning to let up, but it seemed as though Ford was ready to have more fun. He didn't want it to come to an end yet. So the sky continued to flash and rumble. Thunder and lightning, huh? Yes, I'm afraid of the sound of thunder. So I put my headphones on to block it out. Well, Your Honor, as you can see, there weren't any contradictions in her testimony after all. Wait a sec, Mia. The testimony just now. She said something that could totally change this whole case. There was lightning. Your Honor, there is a problem with this witness's testimony. What do you mean? Didn't you notice? She said there was lightning, correct? Yes, what about it? Well, lightning is actually a large discharge of electricity in the atmosphere, am I right? Now's not the time for a science lesson, Miss Fey. Yes, Your Honor. Anyway, since the cause of death was electrocution, isn't it possible that the victim died from being hit by a bolt of lightning? I must admit that the thought had not occurred to me. Just what kind of thoughts do occur to this guy anyway? This entire case is built on the premise that Mr. Doug Swallow was murdered. But the very premise itself is mistaken. The defense believes that Mr. Swallow was, in fact, the victim of a stray bolt. It appears the defense may be onto something. Could it be that the death was actually accidental? Alright, you did it, Mia. I'll be taking that not guilty. I'm hurt that you have such a low opinion of me, Miss Fey. Huh? I'm not a fool, you know. The prosecution has done its research, Your Honor. But Francisco would call him a fool. We found that there were no lightning strikes on that day at that location. What? What's more, we have evidence that the electrical cable is definitely linked to the case. Evidence, Mr. Payne? Well, what is this evidence? This affidavit. And who is this affidavit from? The pharmacology students who were conducting experiments at their labs that day. Allow me to read out to the court the testimony of the pharmacology students. All equipment in the labs lost power all of a sudden at around 3 p.m. that day. Was it a blackout? All of the lab's equipment runs on high voltage, Your Honor. So you're saying the equipment lost power because... Precisely! They lost power because of the severed electrical cable. The power outage occurred at approximately 3 p.m., which fits with the time of death stated in the autopsy report. Exactly! In other words, the victim died as a result of touching the severed electrical cable. According to the students, the cables were very old. They're planning on having them replaced in the near future. I see. Apparently the cables have become so brittle that even the smallest bump would have caused them to break. Student's testimony added to the court record. However, there is one thing that troubles me. If the cable could have been broken by any small bump, then it shouldn't have snapped if... Then it wouldn't have snapped if it hadn't been bumped into, correct? Well, I suppose you could say that. Miss Fey? Do you have any thoughts regarding the cause of the severed cable? Your Honor? I don't like how this is looking one bit. I have to come up with something to try to regain some momentum. If it pleases the court, the defense would like to state its opinion. Well then, let's hear it. Who or what was it that caused the cable to break? The power cable broke due to some sort of impact on April 9th at 2:55 p.m. The victim's watch stopped at the time of death. Touch the check button for details. It was Phoenix. Your Honor, please think back to Mr. Wright's testimony. The defense testimony? He said that after he pushed the victim, he heard a loud, sharp noise. Now, this happened at around 3 p.m., correct? Yes, that sounds right. Wait, are you saying that... the lab equipment lost power at 2:55 p.m., which fits right in Mr. Wright's timeline. In other words, it was Mr. Wright's shove that caused the power outage. Yes, the prosecution also came to that same conclusion. And it was that very shove that caused Mr. Swallow to be electrocuted. I'm afraid I can't agree with you there, Mr. Payne. What's that supposed to mean? Take a good look at where the victim landed after being shoved. See, the umbrella is by the electrical pole. That's right, the victim banging into that pole was the result of being pushed. It was that impact that caused the cable to break. Well, that makes sense, and then the victim was electrocuted. No, not quite. I'm sorry, Your Honor, but... No, it doesn't make sense at all. If the victim was shoved into the far pole, then he couldn't have been electrocuted by the severed cable in the foreground here. Yeah! In other words, Someone other than my client must have electrocuted the victim. Order in the court. The lamentations of my enemy. How I've longed to hear them. If it's true, the defense is absolutely correct. There doesn't seem to be any way that Mr. Judge, sir? May I say something? The Madam Attorney's explanation. She said some things that are a little different than I remember them. What the? Please, just once more. May I please testify one last time? Pretty please, Mr. Judge? Of course it's all right. Just go right ahead and give your new testimony. This is it. She's finally starting to show her true colors. What I witnessed part 2. The truth is, Feeney pushed him twice. The first time was into the electrical pole. That's when the cable broke. Then Dougie tried his best to run away from him. But Feeney caught up and crashed into him from behind. The cable snapped and Dougie being electrocuted. It all occurred in less than a minute. So after being shoved, the victim got up and tried to run away. And that is when the defendant pushed him for the second time. I'm so sorry, Feeney, but I just have to tell the truth. Am I doing the right thing? Am I, Mr. Judge? Of course you are, my dear. As painful as it may seem, you are. Now then, Miss Fey, you may proceed with your cross-examination. Okay, well, I want her last statement. The one that says in less than a minute. This, I think, is where I used stopwatch. In this photograph. Yep, that was it. That's enough, witness. I'm afraid I don't understand. You will in a minute. Could you please take a look at this picture? Oh, that medicine. That's the one Feeney likes to take for his cold. It's not the medicine I would like you to look at. It's the wristwatch. It stopped at the precise time the victim was electrocuted. In other words, 3:05 p.m. Yes, and your point is, Miss Fey? My point is this. What time was it when the lab suffered that power outage due to the cable snapping? Well, according to the student's testimony, the answer is clear. It was 2:55 p.m. Would you care to explain to the court, Miss Dahlia Hawthorne, what exactly happened during this 10-minute interval? The defense proposes that it was during this interval that the real murderer killed Mr. Doug Swallow. Order in the court. This is nonsense. The real murderer. Even you can't deny that the time between the cable breaking and the electrocution are completely unaccounted for. But then, who was it? Who else are you saying could have done it? The time has finally come. There's only one person who could have murdered Mr. Swallow. Only after my client had left the scene was there a window of opportunity for the real killer. Miss Fey, is the defense ready to indict someone as the real killer? Yes, of course we are, Your Honor. It's finally time. This is the moment I've been waiting for. Yes, Your Honor. We are ready. Very well. But remember, if you accuse the wrong person, you will be penalized. Think very carefully before you speak, Miss Fey. Now then, Miss Fey, let's have it. Who's the real killer? Why, Miss Lovely Dahlia Hawthorne, of course. It could only have been you, Dahlia Hawthorne. What? Me? How can... The defense is grasping at straws. 10 minutes passed between the time the cable broke and the time of the electrocution. What exactly were you doing that whole time, Miss Hawthorne? Were you really listening to some music while cheering them both on as they fought? I find it hard to believe that you didn't lift a finger to stop the men dearest to you. Order, Miss Fey! What? I mean, why? That is to say... Miss Hawthorne, I believe you did witness the two men fighting on that day. However, after Mr. Wright pushed the victim and subsequently left the scene, it was you who pushed Mr. Swallow to his death by your very own hands. How can you say something so mean, Madam Fey? I didn't do anything. Miss Fey, this is a very serious... Your Honor, please, I have something I want to say. You? What is it? Please, strike everything your defense said just now from the record. What the? Are you daft? You're totally wrong, Miss Fey. Dolly, she couldn't do something like that. Mr. Wright, get back in your seat. Bailiff, grab that man. Leave my Dolly alone. That boy. He's gotten himself in way over his head. Oh, Mr. Grossberg, you're back. It seems I've arrived just in the nick of time. I found the police report on that incident in your newspaper clipping. Police report added to the court record. Thank you so much. This is exactly what I was hoping for. You'd better take a good look at it. Or details how you came to lose your boyfriend. Now then, the defense has made a very serious accusation. Mr. Payne, what do you have to say about this? Well, really, Your Honor, May I interrupt you for just a moment, Mr. Prosecutor? Don't you worry, my dear, I have the situation well in hand. Go right ahead. Madam Fey, are you seriously accusing me of killing my sweet Dougie? Yes, I am. Not only am I saying you murdered Doug Swallow, but you also tried to pin the whole thing on your current lover, Mr. Phoenix Wright. I told you that you should let me handle this. Sorry, please go ahead. How can you say that? I'm absolutely devoted to my dear Feeny. The notion that I would try to frame him is ludicrous. This is all just too much for poor little me to bear. I believe the girl is trying to ask what on earth her motive would be. The answer to that lies somewhere in this police report. It must. 8 months ago, an incident occurred in the basement cafeteria of this building. And then, that same day, the two of them accidentally meet? Your Honor, the defense requests further testimony from Miss Dahlia Hawthorne. For further testimony? What about? About the events of the day when she first met the defendant, Mr. Phoenix Wright. What could that possibly have to do with this case? The witness claims that she has no reason to frame the defendant, am I correct? Well, I have evidence that suggests that she, in fact, had a very good reason. Very well, then. The court grants the defense's request. Young lady, would you mind staying up there for just a bit longer? Of course not, Mr. Judge. Get ready for the battle of your life, Dahlia Hawthorne. I'm coming for you. How I met my Feeny. I first met my darling Feeny 8 months ago. It's like we were destined to meet in this very courthouse basement reading room. The moment our eyes met, my heart skipped a beat. We've been going out ever since that fateful day. We're so lovey-dovey, we literally make people sick. It's just jealousy, I think. Mr. Wright, do that again and you will be held in contempt of court. Oh, I guess that last statement was actually Phoenix's. Oops. And now we enter the final act of our little drama. As we used to say in the days of my youth, go get her. But for now, we're going to do just a little quick save. Well, let's start pressing her. So until that time, you had been dating Doug Swallow. Yes, I'm a real fool. I know. Letting my emotions change so quickly, I'm ashamed of myself. No, not at all. Look at me, I'm infamous for changing my mind. My critics have even taken to calling me Judge Fickle. Maybe you should look for a different line of work. Despite that, however, he always hands down the correct verdict. That's why some people also call him the Great Judge Genie. The courthouse reading room? That's a strange place to fall in love and meet love of your life, isn't it? That's not true, Madame Fey. After all, Feeny was not only an art student, but he was also planning on becoming a lawyer someday. I'm not talking about him, I'm talking about you, Miss Hawthorne. What was a literature student like you doing in a courthouse reading room? This line of questioning is a waste of time. It has nothing to do with our murder case. Miss Fey, I'm warning you, if this has nothing to do with Mr. Swallow's case, I have to remember the judge is on Dahlia's side and better tread carefully here. Mia, if the judge gets any angrier, you'll lose the whole case. I'll just have to hold my tongue for the time being. Now then, young lady, please go on with your testimony. Tell us about the time you first met Phoenix Wright. I'll come back to that statement. Oh, and they are gonna give me, penalties now. Oh, that's just lovely. So what was it about Mr. Wright that made your heart malfunction like that? In my personal opinion, he just looks like a typical snotty-nosed college brat. Perhaps to a woman your age, but to me, Feeny is handsome. Perhaps to you, Miss Hawthorne, but to the rest of the planet, he's a dime a dozen. Love is a mysterious thing, and I object to this line of questioning. If you were to look at my wife, for example, you might all be shocked. he's telling the truth. It was truly, truly shocking. No, it may seem odd that Payne has a wife, but he must have a wife, because he does actually have a kid that is in the later games. So, just the thought of him having a wife is scary, but it's actually probably true. Beautiful mushroom growing tall in the darkness. It comes from cow dung. That's the poem that best describes how I feel about my Feeny. Were there any bad feelings between you and Mr. Swallow? No, none at all. We parted on very good terms. But that can't be. Our investigation also shows that it was a clear breakup. Huh? Are you sure? Yes, it seems that they both wanted it that way. So the victim wanted to break up with her? Press further. So you're saying that Mr. Swallow also wanted to break up with you? Well, you see... What a cruel thing to ask a lovely young lady like this! By the way, I have never once considered leaving my wife. No one cares, Mr. Payne. She didn't deny it. That must mean... Black Swallow must have seen through her little act. He must have gotten a glimpse of her true nature. Listen to me, Mia. That woman has the judge in the palm of her hand, you see. So the only way to discredit her is to find a contradiction in her testimony. Now let's come back to this statement. Keep pressing. Your Honor, if you'll allow us some altitude, I think I can establish relevance. Please ask her to continue on with her testimony. Very well. Young lady, I've got a simple question for you. What were you doing downstairs in the courthouse reading room? If it pleases your Honor, the answer is simply this. I'd come to the courthouse to do some research for a paper I was writing. You were writing a paper? On what? On the relationship between modern Senryu poetry and the criminal underworld. That sounds like a fascinating research idea. Am I getting old? Now I've even forgotten what I've forgotten. Again with the midlife crisis stuff. Mia, why did that girl really come to this courthouse? Isn't that what you wanted to know? And speaking of forgetting things, you haven't forgotten the police report, have you? I went through a lot of trouble to get it, my dear, so be sure to read it carefully. Okay, so we will do that. Let's take a look at his police report. Report on the incident 8 months ago. Incident overview. Location, District Courthouse Cafeteria. Date and time, August 27th, 4 p.m. Victim, Diego Armando, age 28. Occupation, lawyer. Suspect, Dolly Hawthorne, age 19. Details. Armando ingested poison while interviewing the suspect regarding another case. Traces of poison were found in the victim's coffee cup. Odd coffee cup. No poison was found in the vicinity or on the suspect's person. It is unclear how the poison entered the victim's coffee cup. Miss Hawthorne, you weren't here because of your research paper, were you? Didn't you actually come here for a much more important reason? But what is the meaning of this? That cocky smile on your face, Miss Fey? 8 months ago, in this very courthouse, right here, there was another tragedy. Another tragedy? Do you mean the incident in which an attorney was poisoned? The name of the suspect in that incident is listed here in this report. And that name is Dahlia Hawthorne. What? Dahlia Hawthorne? Yes. The sweetie pie of everyone's eye, Miss Dahlia Hawthorne, that's sitting right there. She was the prime suspect in a criminal case just 8 months ago. Order, order, order! This is unbelievable. It's true then that you were in... Miss Fey, that's not fair. You can't slander my witness. I, Winston Payne, will not... Mr. Prosecutor, I believe I was speaking. Pardon me. Go right ahead. It's true that about 8 months ago, the police expressed some interest in me. Expressed some interest, huh? Mr. Judge, sir, I know I'm under oath, so I'll tell you the absolute truth. I did not commit the crime that occurred during that incident 8 months ago. I see. Okay, I've tied the two crimes together. Now I've just got to stay on the offensive. Well done, Mia. Ooh. You've really lit up a fire in my heart and my buttocks. I can hardly tell which is more inflamed, my spirit or my hemorrhoids. The poisoning. I met the lawyer who was poisoned to discuss something in the cafeteria that day. I left my seat for just a moment, and that's when it happened. From what I heard, it was a liquid poison that is lethal in just 2 teaspoons. Not only that, I heard it was a very special kind of poison. So you see, I'm innocent. I wouldn't even know where to get a poison like that. So that's what happened here 8 months ago. However, as you've heard that the witness's testimony, she had nothing to do with it. I think the defense is just about out of tricks. I'm terribly sorry, Mr. Payne. But I'm afraid the defense has many more tricks up its sleeve today. And I'd be sure to show them to you before the end of this cross-examination. Ah! Why does the defense suddenly feel stronger? Ah, Mia, you're glowing with a true lawyer's aura, my dear. A proud posture and self-confidence, absolutely smashing. Well, I want her last statement. I don't even know where to get a poison like that. The victim, he was a 4th-year pharmacology student at Ivy University. Doug Swallow. You wouldn't know how to get that kind of poison? I don't believe you. What? In fact, you had easy access to this kind of poison, didn't you? At your boyfriend's lab. But boyfriend? You mean the victim, Doug Swallow? That's right. Up until 8 months ago, Miss Hawthorne was dating Mr. Swallow. And if you'll recall, Mr. Swallow was a pharmacology student at Ivy University. For pharmacology? His laboratory contained highly advanced chemistry equipment. In fact, without such equipment, the culprit could never have obtained such a rare and special poison. Well, Miss Hawthorne, it seems you had access to such a poison after all. And then it was a matter of slipping it into the victim's coffee when he wasn't looking. The only person who could have done that was the one sitting at his very side. You! No! Order. Could it be? That's nothing but a... May I say something, Madam Fey? What is it, Miss Hawthorne? The amount of poison in the coffee was 2 teaspoons, correct? In order to carry that much liquid, you would need some kind of container. Well, yes, that's true. I was searched immediately after the incident took place. Quite true. In fact, the entire courthouse was turned upside down. But they didn't find a suspicious container anywhere, did they? She's right. They even mentioned that in the report. Well, you could have easily gotten rid of something that small. Excuse me, madam, but this is a court of law. If you're saying I threw the poison container away, I think you need to show some kind of proof. The proof? She got me good with that one. Provide some evidence, or I'll have to disallow this line of questioning, Miss Fey. Unless we can come up with some evidence, we're going to lose this one. The completely conducted a full body search of Dahlia and of the entire courthouse. And yet, the container holding the poison disappeared right after the crime occurred. If you're going to accuse the young lady of committing the murder, then where is the container the poison was carried in? What happened to it? Well, you see, I'm actually holding on to it right now. You were forced to get rid of the container in a hurry, weren't you? And that's why you passed it on to someone that had nothing to do with this case. Someone that you knew wouldn't be searched. Who is this person? Mr. Phoenix Wright, of course. So the defendant was the witness's accomplice? Of course not. She gave the poison to him disguised as a present. What? But that's... That's a charming little necklace. Is this a little bottle? It's really quite cute. So what about it? What does it mean, Miss Fey? The day that the witness met and fell for Mr. Phoenix Wright was 8 months ago. August 27th, the very same day as the poisoning incident. Under the pretense of love, the witness gave my client a present. All for the purpose of hiding the one piece of evidence that would give her away. What? Are you saying there's a deadly poison in here? No, there's no longer any poison in that bottle. However, I'm certain if the crime lab were to analyze it, they could find a trace amount. No! Order in the court. On behalf of Dolly, I object. Mr. Wright, control yourself. I won't let you bully her like this. Mr. Wright, I thought I told you to stay in your seat. Mr. Wright, why? Why are you going through so much trouble to protect her? Why? Because I'm madly in love with her. Yes. Madly in love? I haven't heard anyone say that in a long time. Mr. Wright, have you ever thought about this? Why exactly would a woman like Dahlia Hawthorne want to date you anyway? Well, I guess she must be madly in love with me too. Mr. Wright, please, open your eyes. At this point in the trial, I think it should be obvious to everyone. The real reason that Dahlia Hawthorne is dating you is... She's madly in love with you too? Nah, that's not it. Because of that necklace. Or to keep you quiet. Because of that necklace. Dahlia Hawthorne was not and is not madly in love with you. The only thing she's after is that bottle necklace you love to wear around your neck. My necklace? Back there at the waiting room, you said it yourself. Yeah, but she's so shy. Every time I see her, she always says the same thing to me. Please give it back now. What a strange girl, asking for a present back like that. For Dahlia Hawthorne, that necklace is irrefutable evidence of her crime. That's why she absolutely had to get it back. You're lying. But you never gave it back to her. And to make things worse for her, you insisted on showing it to everyone you met. That's why she... I don't believe you. No! That's a lie! Mia, are you okay? The defendant, bailiff, hurry, after him! Mia, are you alright? Yes, I think so. That boy! He went completely insane! Where's Mr. Wright? It looks like the bailiff caught him, so he should be brought back here soon. Thank goodness. No, oh no! What is it? The bottle necklace! Miss Hawthorne's present. It's gone! What? That's terrible! Mr. Wright must have grabbed it when he slammed into me. Foolish boy, that's the only thing that could have saved him. What in blazes are we supposed to do now? Mr. Wright, this sort of behavior is unprecedented in the history of this court. I'm sorry. I'm afraid that your apology is not enough. Mr. Wright, what did you do with the bottle necklace? Forgive me, I'm sorry. It's okay, just give back the necklace. I ate it. You what? You ate it? It was too big to swallow, so I had to chew it into little bits first, but yeah. What? What is he doing now? Your Honor, you've got to stop the trial. Mr. Wright, are you feeling okay? Does your stomach hurt? That bottle you swallowed may have had some poison left in it. Seems the defendant has proven the prosecution's case for us. Clearly that bottle did not contain a deadly poison. How can you be so sure? I think that's obvious. As you can see, the defendant is still very much alive. As for the poison, more like a fledgling defense attorney's overactive imagination. So it would seem. No, there must be some mistake. The bottle must not have had any poison left in it. Either that or the poison must have lost its potency. There. It's all right, rookie. Trusting your client is the most noble thing a defense attorney can do. And it's heartwarming to see that you place this much faith in Mr. Wright. But that's how it is for us on the prosecution side, too. For example, I would trust the witness, Miss Hawthorne, with my very life. Which is why I can state that your assessment of her is completely wrong. That's enough. Unfortunately, Miss Fey, I cannot accept your explanation of the events. But why? This may be impossible for a beginner like you to understand, but in a court of law, evidence is everything. No. Even though I've proven so much, Is she going to get away with everything? Again? Well, now that the suspicion surrounding Miss Hawthorne has been cleared up, I would like to proceed with... Mr. Wright! I'm sorry, Miss Fey. It totally slipped my mind. I'm really, really sorry. I know you believed in me, and I feel like I really let you down. Mr. Wright, what are you trying to say? There's something I forgot to tell you. What is it? The day I met Doug Swallow? That girl, you shouldn't see her anymore. Hey, it's none of your business. I'm telling you for your own sake. If you continue to see her, it's going to be bad news. You're lying. Just listen to me. There's something you need to know about that girl. Last night, someone stole some poison from my lab. Poison? The same thing happened 8 months ago. A drug sample was stolen. She came to the lab that time, too. It could only have been her. That girl is a thief. Stop it! Don't talk about her like that. Now we know why he pushed him. Is it true? Did he really say that? That's ridiculous! There's one more thing. After I pushed him that day, I got worried and came back to have a look. And she was there. Dolly was right there. She was crouched down next to him. What? She told me not to ever tell anyone about it, but... I'm sorry, Dolly. Your Honor, the defendant is... Miss Fey, you tell them. Dolly didn't do it. She's innocent. So Dolly stole poison 8 months ago, too. Huh. If you put that together with Mr. Wright's testimony, then there's only one plausible conclusion. The defense believes that Miss Dahlia Hawthorne stole some poison on the night before she killed Doug Swallow. The night before? Naturally, her motive for stealing it was to kill someone. Miss Fey, if you're so certain of your theory, then let me ask you this. Mia, this is your last chance. Think carefully now, okay? There's something that she desperately wanted to get back. Therefore, exactly who was Miss Dahlia Hawthorne planning to kill? Well, I'm sorry, Mr. Wright, but, well, it was you. There was one person that was standing squarely in Miss Dahlia Hawthorne's way. And that person was Mr. Phoenix Wright, the defendant. But that's preposterous. After all, it was Doug Swallow that was murdered. Well, it's true that that's how things worked out. But let's remember that Mr. Swallow died of electrocution, not poison. The person that Miss Hawthorne was planning to poison was, in fact, you, Phoenix Wright. There's no one else that it could be. But how can that be? I thought Mr. Wright was Miss Hawthorne and were in love. Poor Mr. Wright. This must be killing him. Hang in there. I'll bring her to justice, I swear it. As I said before, the only thing Miss Hawthorne truly cares about was the one piece of evidence linking her to this incident 8 months ago. That's right. The bottle necklace, that's all she cared about. But even so, why would she go so far as to murder him? 8 months ago, just after the fall of that attorney in the basement cafeteria? Dahlia Hawthorne could think of only one thing. How to get rid of the bottle necklace. as quickly as possible, the one thing that could link her to the crime. No, it can't be. It was a pretty good move she made, too. The evidence was missing for a long time. But there was just one big problem. Although she got him to hide the evidence, Mr. Wright refused to return it to her. To him, the tiny little bottle was a cherished treasure. He even showed it to everyone he met. You mean that's why she tried to kill Mr. Wright? Correct, Your Honor. It was to retrieve that piece of evidence. That isn't true. Feeny, what a joke you are. Her true colors at last. Honestly, how can any woman ever count on you for anything? I even told you time and time again to keep your trap shut about me and that necklace. You disgust me. Miss Hawthorne. It appears that this trial will be coming to an end soon. Fine, I can tell you plan on making me into a criminal, no matter what I say. You are a criminal, Miss Hawthorne. We'll see about that. But first, where's your evidence? It seems your sniveling little crybaby of a client has eaten the bottle as a snack. Hey, old man. Are you senile or something? Why won't you say something instead of sitting there with that dumb look on your face? Miss Hawthorne, what's happened to you? Are you really that shocked? Or do you prefer me this way, Mr. Judge? There's absolutely no proof. You treat a voluntary witness like she's a mass murderer. Well, I have nothing more to say. I'll be heading home now, if you don't mind. But you're not finished. Fine. Then ask this nasty old hag to finish up already. I can't let her get away like this. Not this time. Stop, Mia. If you keep on pushing without any evidence, you could pay the ultimate price as a lawyer. The ultimate price? You'd be forced to take off your attorney's badge forever, I'm afraid. No! You'd better think it over carefully, Miss Fey. Or should I say, Miss Gray. Well, Miss Fey, can you provide evidence that would establish her guilt once and for all? If I mess up here, my career as a lawyer is over. But to be honest, at this point I don't have any evidence that's well-founded. Even so, I'd rather lose my attorney's badge than let her get away with murder. Your Honor, the defense would like to present proof. Impossible! You can't possibly... Stupid woman. It's the opinion of the court that there has already been enough discussion. Therefore, I will allow only one piece of evidence to be presented. And because I'm not sure what that is just yet, I'm gonna say. Just one? If you are unable to establish her guilt, then I'm afraid that a very harsh verdict will immediately be handed down on Mr. Wright. I understand, Your Honor. I can just imagine the headlines for tomorrow's newspaper. Up-and-coming lawyer plummets to earth before she gets her chance to soar. She is planning to poison Mr. Wright. If that's the case, then the poison was probably in there. Oh, that piece of evidence. Okay, now I know what it is. Well then, Miss Fey, please present your evidence. show the court irrefutable proof that Miss Hawthorne was planning to poison Mr. Wright. Very well, with his cold cover X bottle. Here it is, Your Honor. The evidence that will prove her guilt once and for all. Cold Killer X? Phoenix Wright's beloved cold medicine? Does our broken defense attorney have a bit of a cold? If I did, I still wouldn't take this cold medicine. After all, it's been poisoned. But what? Remember what the defendant said in his testimony? But I lost my bottle of it about lunchtime on the day of the incident. I always eat with Dolly, just the two of us. She was the one who took the bottle of Cold Killer X. And then she poisoned it, knowing that Mr. Wright was going to take some. Now you're really grasping at straws. After all, it was the victim, Doug Swallow, that was holding the medicine. I would like the court to recall the crime that happened here 8 months ago. Where did Miss Hawthorne hide the evidence? What are you talking about? 8 months ago, the poison was hidden in her bottle necklace, which she then gave to someone else for safekeeping. Someone she had accidentally run into in the reading room, my client, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Yes, that's right. She did the same thing this time as well. After shoving the victim, Mr. Phoenix Wright left the scene of the crime. That is when the murderer, Dolly Hawthorne, appeared. With her, she was carrying the poison bottle of Cold Killer X. This, of course, was so she could carry out her plan to murder Mr. Wright. I believe she did testify that she was going to meet with the defendant. Yes. And she heard and saw everything that happened at the scene of the crime, including what the defendant and victim were arguing about, and the cut electrical cable. That's when she realized, I can't get caught with this evidence again. She used the severed electrical cable to silence him forever. Unfortunately for her, this is where the problem occurred. Mr. Wright, who she thought had left the scene, came back to check on the victim. And on top of that, because of the power outage, some students showed up as well. It's hardly any wonder that she was, as she put it, in a state of panic. Recall she was carrying that bottle of poison cold medicine. She must have thought, what if they searched me like they did 8 months ago? 8 months ago? Yes, she disposed of the evidence exactly the same way as she did back then. She had someone else hold on to it, in this case, Doug Swallow. Oh, come on now, everyone. Surely you aren't fooled. This stupid woman? She's nothing but a filthy, stinking liar. Right, Mr. Prosecutor? How? Yes, that's exactly right. It's just pure desperation. I wonder which one of us is the desperate one. So, Miss Hawthorne, this cold medicine, I wonder if you wouldn't mind taking some. Well, Mr. Wright, that necklace is yours, right? Now it's your turn to prove your innocence. What do you say? If I'm just a filthy, stinking liar, then there's no need to worry. So come on, show us. I dare you to take some of this medicine right now. Mia Fey, Mia Fey? Do you think you've won? Well, do you, Mia Fey? That's just fine. For the time being. Victory is yours. For the time being? Well, I have a very long memory, you know. You and I will meet again, I'm certain of it. Well then, Mr. Judge, I'll see you later too, okay? I'm going to go spend a little quality time with some men in blue now. I wish you all the best. Phew. It's finally all over. I refuse to accept this. The defense hasn't shown a scrap of evidence to support their outrageous claim. But even so, your witness seems to have accepted it. I don't care! I'm Winston Payne! And I don't believe one word that the rookie lawyer has said. Well then, Mr. Payne, let me ask you this. Yes? Would you care to try this cold medicine? What? Me? Just a little earlier, I could have sworn you said. There, it's all right, rookie. For example, I would trust the witness, Miss Hawthorne, with my very life. So, if she's so trustworthy, then I'm sure there couldn't possibly be any poison in here, right? You see... And here comes the back pedal. Come on now, rookie killer. Show this rookie how it's done. How much trust do you really have for this woman? Are you willing to bet your life? It's not happening, my beautiful hair, no! Mr. Payne, about Miss Dahlia Hawthorne. Look, his 2 pages came off. Yes, Your Honor. Filed the papers for her immediate arrest. Tragic, but not surprising. I knew there was something suspicious about her from the very beginning. Don't lie, just admit you were wrong. By the way, Miss Fey. Yes, Your Honor? You said earlier that you and Miss Dahlia Hawthorne knew each other. Your Honor, how we knew each other had nothing to do with this case. Very well. Mr. Payne? This can't be happening. It's a nightmare. It's like being in my dreams. It appears Mr. Payne has lost his spirit along with his hair. Does the defendant have anything further to say? It can't be true. My Dolly, my dear Dolly! Very well then. I believe I am ready to pass judgment and bring this trial to an end. The court finds the defendant, Mr. Phoenix, right? Not guilty. This court is adjourned. April 11th, 3:16 p.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby number 3. Mia, you were wonderful in there, my girl. Thank you for everything, Mr. Grassberg. During the verdict, I thought my hemorrhoids were going to explode like non-Vesuvius. Mr. Grossberg, do you maybe think you could stop talking about them? Dude, that's rather rude. Anyway, this case really made me think. What does it really mean to have a relationship of mutual trust with the client? Perhaps it is we veteran lawyers who have lost sight of this. Oh, Mr. Wright, congratulations. Thanks. You know, I was thinking. Go on. The dolly that I saw in there at the witness stand, I don't think that was really her. What? Yeah, the dolly I know would never have said those kinds of terrible things. Maybe Maybe she was like, I don't know, a fake or something. Or an evil twin, perhaps. Boy, this poor kid still hasn't gotten a clue. You need to forget about her, Mr. Wright, for your own sake. Yeah, you're right. That's probably for the best. Also, you need to relax a bit more. Try to grow up a little. But out of all my friends, everyone says I'm the most grown up of us all. Eek, what kind of company does this guy keep? Well, a Larry Butts that causes all sorts of trouble for him, for one. Right now, I'm studying to become a lawyer myself. That's what you keep saying. But I thought you were in the art department. Well, yeah, I guess I am. But there's a friend that I desperately want to help. And if I hurry, then I should still be able to save him in time. I see. Say, Miss Fey, a lawyer is someone who can help people when they're in trouble, right? Mr. Wright, I'm still new at this myself. But I think that's exactly what a lawyer is. Okay, I'm going to do it. I'll study my butt off. I'll become a lawyer for sure. I hope... I hope we see each other again someday. Maybe even in court. Or maybe I'll work under you as your understudy. It's been 5 years since I was acquitted of all charges. I became a lawyer like I planned and managed to save my friend. You know, Edgeworth and all that. But Mia has passed on to a better place. For me, this trial brings up a lot of painful memories. But it also brings up some very precious ones. And memories that I thought would never rise to the surface again. Mia is gone now, but even so, I can hear her in my mind. Phoenix, no matter what, always believe in your client. In a court of law, your greatest weapon is your belief. 5 long years, something has happened that's made me think back to her words of wisdom. But that is a story for another day, and another trial. Episode 1, Turnabout Memories, the end. That's it, guys. A brand new episode has been added. The Stolen Turnabout. Well, that is for another time, which will be the next case that we get into. Anyway, right now, I'm your host, Kaylee Iwatari. Please like, subscribe, comment, let me know what you think. And next time, we'll continue on with Case 2. See you then.